we thought we'd rewind and start back at the beginning. If you've not seen part 1 of our travel video through Italy, we started off our honeymoon in Ischia, so we thought it made sense to start this video in Ischia, leaving, getting the boat and heading to Rome. It was a gorgeous morning. We were very sad to leave Ischia, but it was so exciting to know that we had somewhere new to go and explore. We did have to get up quite early. We had a little bit of Nutella on toast for breakfast, or not toast, bread. We didn't have a toaster in our room.
This tastes exactly how I remember Nutella. This needs to be released in the UK. Bye-bye, Don Felipe.
We then hopped in a taxi and headed down to the port. We did have a bit of an issue with our boat being cancelled, so it was a bit of a last minute scramble to get another one, but we made it, and we made it to Naples station in time to get our train as well, with enough time for a little espresso stop.
We have landed for the second time on this holiday.
I mean, there's many more journeys to go. It's been very easy breezy getting.
It has. Like getting on the train journey itself, like Wi-Fi all the way.
And it's very nice to have gone from our hotel in Ischia. It was absolutely gorgeous. But it was obviously just one room. But here we've got a whole apartment and it's like really spacious. It's quite nice having
it's nice, like,
spread out a bit more.
It's got a kitchen that's like a normal size, like not just a tiny mini fridge to like try and keep your beans in.
Yeah.
So I can actually like cook here, and I could sit here in the mornings and not feel like I'd wake you up, which is really nice. It's a really nice place.
Charlie just threw me this phone from down here. I almost dropped it. Right in desk. Throw it back down to you, but on the bed. Should I leave the camera on?
Yeah. First things on our agenda once we left the flat was obviously going to get something to eat. We're always about getting something to eat. So we went to a little lunch stop just around the corner, which is called Oops, and it was a really cool little salad bar, the kind of place where you pay by weight. So you load your little box up or your plate up, you take it to the counter, and you just pay for as much as you want.
What have we got in here then?
We went to Oops,
I think.
Oops. So it's salady bits, a lot of Italian food, which was quite nice, because we were worried that it would be more like world food kind of stuff.
Not that that's a bad thing, but you know, when in Rome.
When in Rome. We can say that now.
We can say that now.
This is your box, I think. No, that's the cake.
A tart, I think he said it was like a chocolate and nuts.
Looks like it's got some pear, walnuts.
Looks really good.
Dark chocolate. It does look really good. So that's dessert.
Lunch was a tiny bit disappointing, but we did go right at the end of lunch, so the food had been sat out a while, and then we walked it to a park. So I think if you ate in, it'd probably be a lot nicer. We then got straight on with some sightseeing. It was pretty hot this day and we were quite tired, but we just got straight into the busyness.
I mean, look at me, the first fountain I see and I'm already like getting the camera out to film it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful piazza. Very busy, but we had our sights set on Villa Medici. We'd booked tickets online maybe like an hour and a half before, just to make sure that they didn't sell out, because we tried to go to Villa Borghese, but they had sold out like a week ago.
Yes.
So definitely book in advance.
I would really recommend visiting Villa Medici as well. It might not be like the top thing on most like blogs about what you should visit in Rome, but the tour guide that took us around was really knowledgeable, answered every question, and gave us loads of really sort of like interesting tidbits into the history of Rome and the Medici family and this building. And it was just a really, really cool space, doing all sorts of interesting arts things, like not just old art that you could see here, but like cool contemporary art stuff as well.
It's a French art institute and they have French artists in all different subjects. studying there and working there, and yeah, so it was really cool and really peaceful, nice to get away from the crowds, and amazing views as well.
Yeah, and we spent a good few hours there, so by the time we came out it was evening, which is perfect.
Caught the sunset as well, which is cute. But we went to this place, Oregano Campo de Forio?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter what the name was because
it was great food.
Amazing. It was not a vegan or veggie restaurant, but they had a lot of vegan options, and everything we had was incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah?
So good. We just had the most incredible meal.
Yes.
A tiramisu that has changed my life, and I'm still speechless from it, really.
Where are we, Freya? Where are we going?
We're going to Trastevere.
Trastevere.
To a cafe that apparently has some vegan pastries or cornettos, not quite sure. But it's daily lunchtime, so...
We're hungry. You're hoping you can still get a cappuccino. It's not too late in the day. People might not judge you. I think what's really interesting about the pastries that we got in Rome compared to, say, ones that we got in Paris or something like that is that they're way more like crispy and crunchier. They're not as soft and flaky and fluffy as Parisian ones. That's not to say that they're not delicious, because they are. They're really sweet and lovely, and they go so well with a coffee too.
Yeah, they really like their sweet breakfasts in Italy, which, I mean, we love a sweet breakfast as well, but we definitely switch it up at home, sweet and savoury, so it was fun to try the Italian breakfast pastries.
Yeah.
But we did find a lot of vegan ones, which was really good.
The market was also really cool that you can see here. We went round and found loads of really interesting tidbits and knickknacks and all sorts
You
of
did
stuff.
not enjoy it at the time.
No, I was really, really hot and stressed. So it was really nice when we found this place to have a drink, which was like round the corner, and get a bit of lunch too, in the shade of the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, much needed rest.
A proper long, lovely lunch.
Yeah, we were there like a couple of hours.
We were, but we were chasing the shade as well here as well. We kept moving seats like 3 times to try and find some shade.
I think we just had the most Italian kind of lunch you can have. Like a Sunday lunch. I think we all sat down for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it felt like a good long rest, but we needed it.
Yeah.
Like, we'd been just absolutely blasted by going around that market.
Yeah, it was quite a lot.
But it was really cool.
Yeah, and we just sat for ages. We had spritz, coffee, pizza. Really took our time, very much the Italian way.
Yes. We're just going to go and stroll some of the streets now and see if we can find some cool little like cubby holes with things in.
Maybe like a basilica. Go see some
Yeah.
frescoes, some sculptures.
This is the area we came to last night, so it'll be really interesting to see it in the day.
Yeah, it'll be like night and day, literally.
It'll be night and day.
We spent the rest of the afternoon wandering around. It was beautiful, lovely little cobbledy streets, went in some cute little shops, and then we went back across the river to the north to get some ice cream, and it was our first Roman ice cream. Again, delicious, 10 out of 10. Went back to the Airbnb to chill, and then found this lovely rooftop bar to watch the sunset.
It was absolutely stunning. I think it could have been the best night out of all of them we stayed that we decided to go up there.
Definitely.
And the drinks were a little bit overpriced. I think more
I
like...
wouldn't say they were overpriced for a rooftop bar. They were
No,
really good
that's
value
true,
for
but they
compared
were
to all the other rooftop bars.
definitely more expensive than you would get from any other place. dinner was delicious. We had these amazing little, like, what were they, artichoke bits?
They were meant to be like a seafood platter.
Yeah.
It was mushrooms.
And then we tried arancini and soupli and carbonara for the first time.
I think that was a Greccia, that one.
Yeah.
Greccia.
That's the carbonara.
Yeah. This was my favourite meal. Everything was 10 out of 10.
If you could go
Tiramisu.
anywhere in Rome, go to Refugio
Romano.
So good.
10 out of 10. 20 out of 10. 20 out of 10.
20 out of 10. It is nuts. So what's this place called? What do you see?
The cherubs up there, they're quite sassy. They're quite camp cherubs. When is the cherub milk?
Quattro Sport.
We travelled quite far to get to this bakery. It was about 30 minutes out of the centre of Rome, and it was a fully vegan bakery. It was a proper like local feel, and there was so much to choose from, so we didn't really know what to get. There was a tiny bit of a language barrier, which is obviously completely fine. We don't speak much Italian, but the pastries were a tiny bit disappointing, unfortunately.
So when people say that Rome is like a city where it's just a museum, I think this is what they're talking about. This was the Forum of Augustus, and we're just on the street here, and this is where the Forum of Augustus is. And there used to be, we were just reading one of the things, and there used to be a big colossal statue of Augustus in the central space here, and then this hemicycle over here was where they did Roman citizen law. This hemicycle over here was where they did non-Roman citizen law.
So this was just essentially a court of justice.
Yeah, those columns are massive.
That's the column of the central part. It's just amazing that this is still standing.
It's really good as well because there's all of these like signs out, and they're all in English and Italian to give you context of exactly what you're looking at. So you don't even need to like pay to get in to get the information because it's all just out here anyway.
Colosseum, and we're at this little garden kind of like viewing point. It was a tip I read online. You can see the Colosseum without being surrounded by like millions and millions of other people.
Top tip.
We'll put the name on the screen.
You kind of had to come and see this. There was no way we couldn't come and see the Colosseum. Instead of like a regular sit-down lunch like we've done every other day on this trip, we decided to kind of just stroll around Monte to see what it had. There were a few places on our little map that we prepared beforehand, like the sandwich place you just saw and this pizza place were really good. And of course, you've got to stop for an ice cream at some point. But yeah, just strolling around Monte was really nice and interesting, and it was good to not necessarily have any direction in mind. Like, there are so many things to see and do. There are so many churches in Rome which are all worth seeing. There's so much incredible sculpture and art and all sorts of things inside them, and it's fascinating. But it is really easy to get burnt out on all that sort of stuff. There's only so much you can kind of take in at any given time. So taking small breaks to go and get ice cream or a spritz or any sort of thing like that is really like necessary, basically. I think by the end of this day we'd definitely gotten burnt out on seeing old art and churches and sculptures and things like that.
We overdid it on churches.
It was cool, but we overdid it.
I think because they're free, it's like, oh, we can go in here, we can go in there, and we don't really want to queue hours to get into the Colosseum. That's not really our kind of thing. But we definitely did one too many. But like Charlie said, lots of spritzes, lots of ice cream, break it up. We went to Il Marguta for dinner. It was quite expensive. The food was tasty, but it wasn't tasty enough for the price, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. We wish we'd gone back to Refugio Romano because there were so many other things on the menu I wanted to try. We then had a little late night stroll to see the Trevi Fountain. It was about 11 p.m, so we thought it wouldn't be that busy. We were wrong. It was heaving still. Obviously it's going to be busy 24/7, I think, the Trevi Fountain. Rome can be quite an overwhelming place, so coming to this cat sanctuary was a bit of a sanctuary for us as well. They rescue loads of cats, but we got to go in, say hello, stroke some of the cute little cats. They were all very friendly. It was free to go in, so yeah, definitely a nice thing to do. It's in the centre of Rome near lots of things, so if you're going past, it's a nice kind of escape from the crowd.
Yeah, go for it. Gosh, look at that.
So artichokes is technically a flower.
Okay.
Like classic Roman food with classic Roman
Background, yeah.
classic Roman Rome.
Basically Rome.
Good.
Very low.
Sounded super crunchy.
And soft in the middle as well.
Oh.
Just had a gorgeous artichoke.
Oh my god, it was delicious. It was like crunchy and soft and salty and oily and vegetable and
With the perfect view of some Roman
Yeah.
ruins. So that's filled a little lunch hole. We're going to have a proper sit down
got
lunch.
a bigger lunch hole to fill as well.
We're just having a little wander around the streets at the minute. The rain
Yeah.
has stopped, which is nice. I think we're going to do quite a bit of like browsing in some shops, nice little cafes. We're going to try and go and get an
Affogato.
And there's a place that does vegan ice cream, so we're going to go there in a minute.
So we're just kind of sat here reflecting on dinner last night. We went to the fine dining restaurant, the, like one of the classic vegan vegetarian restaurants here in Rome.
It was quite disappointing. I
Yeah,
think, you know, when you're in the moment, you're trying to enjoy it, so you can telling yourself like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
yeah.
Actually, like, it was very, very, very overpriced compared to other places we've eaten.
It was strange little things like scuffed, like table mats. The cutlery was a little bit like grubby in
Everything was just a bit
places.
off, and we don't mind that. Like,
Yeah, we're
we
not-
go
we're
to,
not-
like, low-key places.
Yeah, we're not like king and queen of England. Like we can take it and leave it. It's
But
fine.
you want low-key prices, and I think it's because they were pretending it was like, it was a very expensive food,
Yeah.
and it was like fine dining label, but like, it just wasn't that.
Like we're about to go for lunch at a place around the corner, which we ate at the other day. Better food.
But it's just a shame because it's not a vegetarian restaurant, and obviously like, we like sort of two vegetarian
Yeah.
vegan places.
I'll tell you what is amazing. Affogato.
This place right now, Grezio raw chocolate. It's a vegan
Yeah.
ice cream chain. Very good.
I just had a chocolate and hazelnut affogato, and it was what, 11 euros for two?
Yes, like 10 quid.
Crazy. I love the really thick spaghetti that they do here. You can't get anything this thick as the UK.
Good.
Really good.
Funny. I guess it is almost like making pasta.
Yeah. I have to say, from the whole trip, one of my favourite things about Rome was just how much interesting stuff there was when you were walking about. Like, every street you went down, there was something interesting or beautiful or old. Like this Vespa place, just like walking past, there was a guy just fixing old classic Vespas, or like the delis and things like that. There was so much to see.
There is so much to see, just like Charlie said, on the streets. You don't even need to go in any of the museums or anything. Like, there's beautiful sculptures everywhere, cats everywhere. Yeah, just beautiful architecture and plants, and you could spend hours walking around and soaking it all in.
Yeah, I think we did like 4 full days in Rome, but you could easily spend a week seeing all of the things that there is.
But 4 days was a good amount of time for us, because it can be quite draining. It's crowded, it's busy, it's large, there's a lot to see and do, so
yeah,
4 days was a really good amount of time for us.
This was actually one of my like coolest experiences. What was it, a wine bar and a coffee bar inside of an old...
It was a bit of an everything. They did food, it was a restaurant.
But it's inside of an old sculptor's workop.
Tadolini Sculpture Museum. It was very surreal.
It was.
Like a big Pope statue looking over.
Arrivederci. Goodbye, Rome.
Last night in Rome.
In the rain. Arrivederci.
We had the best time in Rome. We had some incredible food, saw some incredible art, and we are just very excited for the next part of our trip, where we head to Florence and Tuscany. So make sure you come back next week for the last part of our trip through Italy. The Duomo from many